Composing Gloves here, and today I'm going to show you how to make this sound. So I have a little track here, but first I'm going to play for you just the sound. It's a wobble bass made with FM8 and a fair amount of post, but we'll talk about that later. Here it is. So that's it, and now if I add in all the extra jazz, so it's a pretty cool sounding sort of thing, and you can mix it however you want. This is a really, really rough mix, so there's moments where it disappears more than I would like it to. But let's really quick talk about, how I made this sound. So you see there's actually quite a bit of automation going on with it down to its bare bones without any of the movement. That's what it would sound like. Now with some of the movement, this is all FM8. This is an external plugin. This makes that just more tight. It is just a really fast low pass filter. It's essentially a really fast volume knob. It's just a volume knob. So it's called the Fruity Fast Low Pass. I like it because it is fast, which normal low passes aren't. So how did I make this? So it started out life as just a really simple matrix, just E going into F, which is what I normally wind up doing, and 1. And I decided to mess with waveforms this time. So I've got a sine wave, a formant wave, which actually did some pretty cool stuff, a sawtooth wave, a square wave, triangle wave. And I do have some effects going on here. I have the overdrive. The talk wah is the one responsible for most of the jazz that's going on. I'm not sure if I'll lose my automation data if I turn it off, so I'm just not going to turn it off. So this is I've boosted the low and the high, turned down the volume actually by 1. I had kind of an arbitrary thing. Got the overdrive going, got the peak EQ fired up just a little bit in those special spots, and then a talk wah. And again, I've got this going on now. E is going in. D is being modulated by C, and then it's modulating. I've got some parallel going on, and then actually it's all parallel in just one serial relationship, which is sort of a separate deal. So that's going on there. And I'm also on things I'm automating E, and I'm automating F's out volume. So the amount of volume going out on F. There's the wah 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 wah, that one part that creates the wah wah effect, but it wasn't severe enough, so I had to go in and do it in post as well. So that's that. Now without all this stuff on, that's the sound I had in FM8, and then with all the extra bedazzlement. So some of you guys might not be that crazy about the reverb. That's fine. Just take the reverb off on yours. The reverb is being added in FM8. This is a weird sort of shape I settled on to try and I was going for bass, and I was like, I don't want bass, and then I put it back in, and just this whole mess of stuff. I kept coming back here and altering this a good deal. This is the distortion. The distortion was super, super touchy at the beginning, and then I did all this post, and I came back here, and I changed the distortion shape again. And then Maximus, of course, which is boosting the highs, boosting the mids, and then the lows, I didn't touch too much. It was just about where I wanted it. If I come over here, I'm also sidechaining stuff, and I turned the sidechain off during its special moment right here, but this was a mixing move, very, very fast mixing move. Didn't really quite do exactly what I wanted. So let's really quick make something sort of similar. So it will be interesting to see if I do get something exactly like that, because it was sort of to see sort of what happens when I change the waveforms type deal. So we're going to turn on E, put it up 100, and we get that. I'm playing really high though. And let's change this to a triangle. And of course, this is sort of like an infected mushroom type vibe to it. At least that's what I get. Maybe you disagree. But I feel like I could do a lot more automating. I could move the the ratio. I can move more ratios over time and stuff and really get that sort of free feel type deal that he tends to have, and I could write it a lot more chaotically. So I wrote out one rhythm, and then I chopped it up and made it into another rhythm. Some of the videos I've done are got a dislike, and I think it's just because people don't have the vision, because I thought the sound was fine. But I think when people hear it all jumbled up next to each other, they don't see the power that can happen when they chop it up and move them around. But we're going to go ahead and just work with the rhythm I had when I made this, not this thing up here. So I'm just going to turn all these off. I don't need to turn these off. That's fine. So this is what we got. This is what we're going to be working with. That's kind of an interesting deal. We'll repeat it. And I'm going to keep this thing from stealing my keyboard focus so I can push play and stuff. So I'm going to change F. F is the triangle. I'm going to change this. Let's do something weird. Let's do a formant wave. That's kind of interesting. I like this double. Maybe we'll get a different sound on this one, but let's take C and modulate D by it. Let's do the same thing. Let's try a format. Let's try a wave with a high harmonic in it, with a second harmonic. This isn't really a high one. Nope. It's because the notes I'm playing are so low too. That's another problem. This is a wave with an octave in it. And this, oh man, we could try a TX waveform. Be interesting. I like that. So a lot of the interest, I like that timbre. I like the way that sounds. A lot of the interest comes from the post. So let's go into the post. Effects. Overdrive. I'm not feeling the tube amp. Let's go to the shelving EQ. So we're going to try and create a wobble thing, right? But I want it to be sort of this groovy wobble thing. I like that kind of nasally texture we get there. Now, this is the magic thing I used last time. So before we mess with this, let's go into our thing here and let's automate the E, browse parameters, take me to E, create an automation clip. Okay, so let's create something that's sort of interesting. So we'll do something up here. I went for a sort of an interesting type of rhythm where it was like do, but didn't go all the way down. This thing is there are 2 hits, so it's not super important. And this is my moment right here to do the wah 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 wah. So I'm gonna do something like this. Do 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 do. We'll do something fast right there. And this thing's maximum. Let's perhaps move an E around is not the best idea. Let's make it a safer waveform. Let's do it. Let's go to our distortion and see if we can't correct some tonal problems there. I'm pretty okay with that. Now let's go to the talk wall. So this is going to be where I would go into post some more. So let's move it. Browse parameters. The mouth. Create automation clip. Create an automation clip. And let's do one more. Browse parameters. Do the size. Create an automation clip. Okie dokie. So here's where things can get really sort of funky. So here's the size. Let's do something like a sudden size change. Maybe do a small swell and another small swell. Here, the mouth size will have a big impact on the EQ. And this one can disappear now. We don't need it. Just focus on the first one. Now let's take this into post. So that's just about where I want it to be. Let's see if we can't spice it up some more. Wave. Ooh, no, not hardcore. Wave shaper, man, bro. Remember what I said about this being super touchy before? Something like this may not call for distortion as much as it does EQ and compression. Let's bring that down. Let's settle for something like that. Let's go to Maximus real quick and see. I believe the high and mids will make a big difference on this. So maybe not, maybe I'm wrong. Let's bring the lows up. Let's try moving the wave shaper after. Okay, now from there, let's try and create an interesting rhythm. Let's change some of these notes. And let's make a rhythm. Let's make something out of this jazz. So, okay, I want that up by itself. I want this by itself. I want these things by themselves. And let's do, I'm picturing a bawa. And then and then on these, I'm gonna make unique and change this. And then on this one, make unique. I want it to be sort of bigger. Maybe low. Let's move the mouth around. Let's make this unique too. And then this doesn't make sense at all. So we're going to do this. We're going to move this over. And then this rhythm right here needs to start off on 0. At least that's what I think. Okay, now let's try moving these around. This isn't as clear as it could be, and so here I'm going to try two things. First, I'm going to try what I did last time. Maybe it'll work out. So let's go to the expert tab, and we're going to modulate F. So on here, we're going to go, this is going to change the way I hit my wave shaper. Probably should have moved it from 80, but whatever. So browse parameters, move that, create an automation clip, and then at this moment right here, we are going to do a similar thing. This is going to reinforce the silence. And it's an interesting deal. So let's get the fruity fast low pass. I really like this thing because it's just so clean. And you can add resonance to it if you want it to have some resonance, but usually I like it because it's clean. Do 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 do. I like it in combination with that. I just had to give it a listen. And here, this note. Oh man. It's tough because these things, what we could do here is do something like this, kind of swell it up a bit, give it some more room to breathe, which I ended up doing up there to some degree, and I ended up doing this to get like a whiplash sort of, a clean, but it still has tone. Getting CPU problems. So that's kind of an interesting deal. So let's go back. Let's hear this all in context. This is like way out of character now, though. Let's get rid of that. Just move this over. Just replace it with 2 of these. And let's move the mouth up. Let's hear it without this. All right, maybe not. Maybe that needs to just... No, it needs to be there. So, what this needs... is maybe just different. Maybe that was it. Maybe the loan was just eating that room. And then I'm picturing a do 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 or something like that. Do do. I'm doing something simple right now. I don't want to get like crazy. That sounds pretty cool. So that's kind of grooves. And what we'll do now is we'll unsilence these guys. Hear what that sounds like. Oh man, and we'll silence this one. Should fit though. It's pretty cool. Let's come over here, do something. Now when we mix this, it's going to be this will be a bit of a challenge to mix. Well, I guess once we have more elements in the mix, we're gonna sort of do things, but it needs to be balanced with the drums, for example, and those would be brought up together to make those really even. But we've got the big rip. This moment right here could still use work. I can make it cleaner, mess with more parameters, and one thing that'd be kind of an interesting thing to mess with is we're moving F, but let's go ahead and automate B too. So browse parameters. B, and let's mess with it at that one moment. So we'll bring it up just a tad and then bring it back down. Oh man, let's bring it up. I like this. This is kind of cool. I think this was a good move. So anyways, stuff like that, just moving it around. So we're just changing, on this case, we're changing one of the last things. This is responsible for some of the upper end because it's at a higher ratio and it's a sine wave. So it's giving us some blur. In this case, it's just gonna be a timbre change because it's oscillating so fast. So it's just adding that upper end for us. Doesn't fit quite with this riff anymore, that one. But here's the old one. And let me turn it on. They sound crazy when they're both going together. If you have any questions, let me know. Subscribe and have a blessed day. So, today we are going to explore the wonderful world of free VSTs. Today it's a free vocoder, and I hope you gain enjoyment from this vocoder. It is an 11-band vocoder, but it is, again, completely free. So, that's a thing, and it's made